We at Shelter Afrique already estimate the shortage of housing at 51 million households or houses throughout Africa. So because of that, you have a lot of people moving from the rural areas into the urban areas. But if there's no catering for their housing needs, they then create slums. But Shelter Afrique is a Pan-African developmental housing financial institution formed in 1982, owned by 44 countries. In Africa, they own what we call as Category A shareholders, which is 78% of the shareholding. The vision is to ensure that everybody has an affordable and decent home in Africa. We do this specifically through the public-private partnerships that we try to roll out in these member states.
So Karibu Homes was founded in, the concept was founded in 2009 by the founders. And it was all around the premise of the fact that there's a huge demand for housing in Kenya. And you've got 92% of urban Kenyans, particularly Nairobi, renting. So 6 years ago when we broke ground, and we're looking for debt, the local banking sector was still looking at the interest rate cap. Property developers were not the most attractive investment because we need money for over 6 years. Now Shelter Afrique was perfect because they only do housing and their focus is affordable housing. And of course our project sits right in their mandate. Now along comes Shelter, who truly considered us as a project that fits their mandate and therefore gave us the 6-year funding we needed to develop it. And all they do is property development. So they were a dream to deal with because they understand what we're doing. We're in line with their mission, they're in line with ours. And they could give us terms that were not market in Kenya. They could give us a loan for the 6 years we needed it for. Yeah. So Shelter and Karibu were a good fit.
Our work as a developmental financial institution is to look at what market failures exist in our member states and then coming in with solutions so that we can achieve that vision of decent and affordable housing for all in Africa. The work we do is focused or gravitates around that vision. So on the supply side, we try to make sure that we assist developers with financing, and then on the demand side, we try to enhance affordability so that the beneficiaries of those houses can actually get access to affordable finance.
We are a property developing company. Basically, we build houses for sale to the general public. We also have partnered with the Housing Finance to build affordable housing for Kenyans and of course the other buyers. So we have actually come in together as a joint venture partnership whereby I provide the land and they provide the first equity, which is equivalent to the land value that we are developing. In turn, since that's not enough, we actually extend our hand to other lenders. In this case, we have extended our invitation to Shelter Afrique, who have given us a chunk of the money. Assuming this project is worth 1.5 billion, and we have the 200. So you can see we have a shortfall of 1.3 billion. That's now where Shelter Afrique comes in as a mezzanine lender, or the principal lender. So they're able to give us funding. We also appoint contractors, reputable contractors, who are able to deliver on time. And basically, that's how we've structured the first estate, which is Richland Point. So the journey started off with an imagination. I had the land, but I didn't have the money. So ideally, the idea came through because funding was available. Because you may have land, but if you don't have the funders, then clearly there's not much you can do. So really my journey started with an imagination, and then of course I found partners who we held hands together, and we are where we are, and we are glad to say that the project is complete, ready for occupation. We are hoping that the first buyers will enter by this month.
We're going in with two key products. which is the public-private partnerships on the supply side, so we deliver at scale. And then on the demand side, of course, we're going in with lines of credit. Those are the key pillars to our strategy that we intend to deploy going into the future, so we can perform or contribute materially to reducing, to the extent that we can, that housing shortage of 51 million.
Shelter Limited was incorporated in 2004. So basically, we've done a few projects here in Nairobi, and currently what we're doing is Everest Park in Athi River, Phase 2. We approach financiers, so in this case, in the case of Everest Park, we approach Shelter Afrique as a joint venture partner, and we basically negotiate on a financing package for the project. So what we have is actually a 50-50 joint venture agreement in which both parties have equal rights. Decisions are unanimous. So it's been a good deal for us. It's not easy to engage with somebody for almost, it's going to 9 years now since we started in Phase 1. And we never had any disputes, no disagreements. It's really, I think the fact that we did a good agreement which covered every eventuality, we were able to have a smooth operation even when we hit the ground.
We see Shelter Afrique as an organization that can only increase in its relevance, that can only continue to add more value, and we also believe that it's going to become, and it will be, the center stage of all housing policy and government policy throughout all the 44 member states.